It is June 9th, 2023. We're going to take a quick look at the sunflower situation. I hope my battery holds out. I have not been watering any sunflower plantations this year. Last year I had 2 lines of plants that I was watering more or less daily. I didn't do that this year. Instead, what I did was I planted seeds in places where I thought the surface was close enough to the water table that plants might be able to survive on their own. So this is a place where water puddles when it rains hard. And I mowed 3 stripes here, really short, and then planted some seeds along here every foot or 2. This is the only... Oh, there's another one. Oh, I guess there's several now. Last time I was out here, I didn't really see much happening. I'm going to need to whack some of these plants at some point, because having 4 or 5 plants growing out of the same hole or whatever isn't really ideal. So insects are apparently a factor already. Alright, so that's kind of encouraging. I didn't expect to see so many. Here's another one. The good news is that these guys are above the weed canopy already, so they may survive if it doesn't get too dry. There's only been 0.23 inches of precipitation so far in June, I think, and then maybe 0.37 in the last month, which is just terrible. So then this stripe, I was going to say doesn't have any, but there's this. But look at what the insects have done to this poor thing. Oh, this is impressive. So I'm just gonna pinch off a few of these because they're blocking the sun for each other. Sorry, plants. Alright, so I'm leaving 2. That's a shame because so a few of these are surviving that it seems kind of rotten to kill good ones. When I was mowing earlier, I came upon a thistle plant and a robin flew out of it, and so I went around it instead of mowing it, and I wish I had stopped to consider my actions a little more carefully before I proceeded, because there was a nest right in the middle of the thistle plant, and by mowing right up close to it I exposed the nest on one side, and so there were some little blue eggs in the nest, and I'm concerned that what will happen is once the little robins hatch and start making... So am I still recording? Yeah. Hatch and start making noise, they'll be eaten. So over here I did a couple things. For the first maybe 100 yards, I used a dandelion tool to, I would jam it in the ground and pry it sideways, thereby opening a hole in the ground that was about 3 inches deep, and I'd throw some seeds in. And so I did that for about 100 yards. And then after that, I realized that the holes needed to be closed so that there would be soil contact with the... Oh no, the problem was critters. Critters were eating all the damn seeds in the holes, or birds. So from that point on, I started... Hold on. from that point on I started closing the holes with my foot. But then I noticed that the weed canopy was going to shade the plants, so I came out here with my weed whacker and gave this area a very close haircut so that my sunflowers could compete with the weed canopy. But so basically I made lines about every 5 feet, lines perpendicular to my walking path, and then on each line I put seeds on about 2-foot centers. And so the moisture level in the soil kind of increases as you get down towards the ditch here. And I thought that this like moisture gradient here was interesting because it might mean that, here we go, these guys made it above the canopy. So we're really close to the ditch here, so this soil is pretty wet. And then I wouldn't expect to find any, oh here's another one. I wouldn't expect to find much up here because the soil is relatively dry. But I think I calculated that I don't remember the number now. There were hundreds of planting sites. Here's another one. And I don't really expect many of them to become mature sunflowers, I'm afraid. Gee, I hope I don't step on any. So, see, these guys are struggling. They've got wimpy little leaves and insect damage. But I think the better ones should, here's a cluster. The better ones should be down here where I closed the holes. Except, look at what happened all of a sudden. Suddenly the weed canopy got very dense. It's unlikely any sunflowers survived in here. So it's kind of a race from the time when the plants germinate. It's a race for sun. Whoever gets tall fastest gets the sun. And there's one. There's another one. Another one. Not looking healthy. Another one. See, there's just not enough moisture here. This ditch is, most of the time there's water in this ditch. You're doomed. You don't have any chance of surviving, I'm afraid. Here's some dead ones. There's one. Another one. Another one. So they're doing okay in here because they're only competing with low density grass. The insects are that seem to be the big problem in this area, maybe. All right. There's a couple nice close to the ditch. So far the best ones we've seen have been in the puddle area in the field. So I guess of the hundreds that I planted, what is this track here? Of the hundreds that I planted, I guess I'll be lucky if I have a couple plants that bloom, make it to maturity and bloom. Grass is really tall here on my right, but most of the plantings are to the left of the tall grass. There's one. Seems to be doing okay as far as sun. Goes. Grass is getting really dense here. There's one. Let's give it some help. This is kind of dangerous though. There's a lot of poison ivy out here. Here's one with a weed casting a shadow on it. Bad weed. This one looks pretty good. It's gaining altitude pretty quickly. Elevation. Oh, this one's toast. There's another one there that's not gonna make it. Oh, here's a good one. Well, I don't know about good, but better. Nice one. So there's how long a root is. Looks like it's about 6 inches into the ground. So this is not a well-designed experiment. I'm doing some pretty random things here. There's one. Alright, so the seeds continue down to that pole. However, I don't. I stop here. Let's see if we can find Mrs. Robin. I feel so bad that I exposed this nest. See there? Robin eggs. I mean, it doesn't seem like the greatest place for a nest, if you want my honest opinion. Mrs. Robin. But I certainly made things worse. And for that I apologize. Alright. That's all I got to say about that.